Forza Motorsport right now is unraceable. This game has been out now for a few months and the honeymoon period is definitely over. Now, I have persevered and got a lot of stick for persevering with this game for as long as I can, but now it's time to make or talk about this sort of thing. So firstly, I do want to talk about the good things about Forza, because there are a few good things, right? And I'm talking about this mainly from a multiplayer aspect and the needs that I use the game for. Track rotation is brilliant. You get a number of tracks that you take turns in or in a rotation. They all have dynamic weather. It's fantastic. You won't get the same, I was about to say race, but unfortunately you have been getting the same races quite a lot. You won't get the same environment twice. So the track won't be the same and the weather won't be the same 9 times out of 10. And the variety of that is great. And it looks fantastic. It's a good looking game. The sounds are fantastic as well. Well, fantastic, you know, ACC is the best in terms of sounds, let's be honest. But it's got a more than perfectly fine sound. Things sound good on the game. And they've been bringing lots of new content. It's kind of a double-edged sword, though, as I'll get onto in a minute. But new cars, new tracks, even as young as it is, there's been plenty of new content. And also, they are quite engaging with the community. You know, you get the Forza monthly streams, you get messages in your inbox. When there are exploits, well, it seems to be selective, but when you get exploits like points and prize money or credits or whatever it is, they take them away, and they let everyone know that they've taken them away. So that's good. There are some good things about Forza, but it's all absolutely eradicated by some of the things here for me. Some of these things that I'm about to mention are absolutely critical and completely wipe out any of the aforementioned good stuff. So let's start with the matchmaking. A headline is, it's difficult. Well, it's a problem when you can't race on a racing game. We are sim racers. People generally buy this game to simulate racing. And if you're matched in a lobby with people who are there just to smash you off or anything like that, then it doesn't do a great job and it doesn't give you what you are looking for. So matchmaking, number one, is the first issue for me. It says it's skill and safety rating based. I don't personally see any evidence of that. The only evidence I see on track is that I'm kind of just pushed into a lobby with others and we just get destroyed literally 9 times out of 10. And it's frustrating. It is really, really frustrating. I don't know if that's because it's spread out over too many events or what, but it just feels like first come, first serve, and not everyone's there for the same reasons. It's pretty clear. There's no radar. Radar is the killer for me. To go racing, you need to know where other cars are. You know, to pull off an overtake, to defend against an overtake, you need to know where other cars are. And the proximity arrow system may work for chase cam, but times have changed. And yes, the majority of people will be on controllers, but there's a growing contingent of people who use wheels like this. And when you're in a view that isn't chase cam, because you want the immersive feeling of being on a wheel or being in a car, you go to the in-car view or the hood view or whatever view you want to call it. And those proximity arrows are just not fit for purpose. You don't know where people are. You know, sometimes sort of like you're behind someone and there's an arrow there as if they're behind you. So yeah, it's just not fit for purpose. So it increases the issue of contact when racing. And when you do contact, you stick together. Now, this is my first ever Forza Motorsport since, well, actually it's my second, but way back when. And something I've come to know all too well is Forza glue. You get close to someone, you're sticking and you're going straight on. You go into a left-hander, you touch each other because you don't know where they are because of the proximity arrows. You are both going straight on. I've done it in a couple of shorts to highlight it. It's no good. It's no good. And so that just sort of makes racing more difficult. And I'm probably, in the minority here, but the tuning as well it just spreads the field out too much. We see fields of sometimes 10 seconds apart. Some of it's down to matchmaking, no doubt, but a lot of it is down to tunes, especially at places like Le Mans and all this sort of stuff. You get yourself a right tune, it's like 3, 4, 5 seconds a lap. Again, just taking away from the racing, which is exactly what we want and what we've bought the game for and what we've parted with our money for. The penalty system is a nightmare. It's compounded by the fact that during the kind of lead up to Forza, they said about how it was intuitive and Forza racing regulations would be upheld. They set themselves up for a fall with that because it's possibly the worst penalty system that I've seen. Again, highlighted in some of my shorts, some of the extreme ones, but generally though, it's just not on point. And when there is an issue, it'd be fantastic if you could go back and look back on it, but there's no replay. That has been kaput ever since the game was released. So it's difficult to, well, it's not difficult, it's impossible to race on this game at the moment. And what I struggle with the most is this studio is not a small studio. On a racing game called Assetto Corsa Competizione that you can play. Again, without issue. That game has had its issues. But there's something called Low Fuel Motorsport. A tiny little group of people who do fantastic work. Far fewer resources than what Forza have. Or what the team have who make Forza. If they can get everything right, and they do, they get most things right, then I don't understand why this game is the way it is. And you run out of time with these sorts of things, and Forza is running out of time, big time. If it hasn't already in a lot of people's minds, it's got to get sorted. It's got to get sorted now. For me, stop the new cars, stop the new tracks, address the matchmaking, address the penalty system, and get a radar on there. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I just wanted to put this out there because it's important to say how you feel when these things are happening. But for me, as I say, for the aforementioned reasons, I mean, there are good things about Forza, don't get me wrong, but they're just eradicated by the bad things that need all resources diverted to address, or this game will die. Quite frankly, this game will die. But I will be keeping an eagle eye on how everything goes and how these things improve, what they choose to improve, what they prioritize, and what they don't. Yeah, I hope you stick with me for the ride as well. I want Forza Motorsport to be great. I want to put that out there as well. I don't want to just sit here bashing it. I've resisted bashing it for as long as I can. I've been bashed for resisting to bash it. But now it's time to talk about it. Honeymoon period's over, as I said, and it's time to fix this thing. Otherwise, time's running out and this game will die. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Am I way off the mark? These are just my thoughts. I'm not speaking for the community or anything like that. This is just my personal feelings on it, and I feel strongly enough about them to make this video. If you did enjoy this video, as always, if you could hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. If you could subscribe as well if you're new around here, if you haven't already. But yeah, those are my views on Forza Motorsport. Now that the honeymoon period's over, fingers crossed they fix it. They got some work to do.